Wow. It's been a while, hasn't it? If you've stuck around after all of these years, thank you so much for doing so. If you're new here, welcome to my YouTube channel. Let's just dive straight into the video, right? Today we're here to talk about my priority fantasy reads for 2025. The first book I want to talk about is The Spear Cuts Through Water by Simon Jimenez. When this book first came out a few years back, I was really drawn to it because it is a standalone fantasy novel, and you don't see that every day. But it wasn't until fairly recently, due to Book Talk, that it really has taken off, and I'm really excited to form my own thoughts and opinions on it. All I really know about this book, besides the fact that it is a standalone fantasy, is that it follows two warriors who must shepherd an ancient god across the world. It's not only an adventure story, but an intimate exploration on identity and belonging. I know a lot of people have said that this is one of their favorite fantasy books of all time, and I know it is on a lot of favorite lists for the year as well as 2023. And so, again, I can't wait to read it. I hope to get to it in 2025. I'm going to try and make it a priority. The next two books I want to talk about are the first two books in the Farseer trilogy by Robin Hobb. We have Assassin's Apprentice, Book 1, and Book 2, Royal Assassin. Now, I have already read Assassin's Apprentice, but I read that years ago, and I never continued on with the trilogy, nor have I read any other books by Robin Hobb. But Robin Hobb is a favorite author in the fantasy reader world. And I want to know what all the hype is about. I remember loving Assassin's Apprentice when I first read it, and I need to reread it before diving into book two because honestly, I don't really remember anything that happened in it. Robin Hobb's collection of works in this world is so expansive that I need to start over again with the first book in the Farseer in order to appreciate the whole picture, I feel like. I definitely need to look up reading orders though for her works because I do know that you start with this Farseer trilogy. I do not know where to go from there. So if you do know, please let me know in the comments because I really don't know where to go. Big shock here. I want to read the Mistborn trilogy. If you've been on my page for a long time, you will know I've actually already read book one, The Final Empire, but that was years ago. I'm really starting to dive into Brandon Sanderson's other works like these Stormlight Archives. I've read book one and two so far of that, and I'm currently working on book three. But how can I continue reading that series and continue the rest of the Cosmere universe without completing the start to it all? Yes, I know Elantris technically was first. It was first published. I still need to read that one as well. But Brandon Sanderson himself has said to start with the Mistborn trilogy, the original Mistborn trilogy. And so I need to reread book one, The Final Empire, before diving into book two, The Well of Ascension, and then reading the final book, The Hero of Ages. I know I'm going to love it. I loved book one when I read it. I remember a lot of it, but I do want to reread it. So this one's on my list. Next, we have The Name of All Things by Jen Lyons. This is the second book in the 5-book-long series known as the Chorus of Dragons series. Book one is The Ruin of Kings. That was one of my favorite books that I read in the year that I read it. A lot of these are like continuations of series that I have already read and loved that I really need to prioritize. It's been years since I've read the first book. I remember a lot of it though, so I don't feel the need to reread it before diving into book two. I know that there is a lot of queer rep in it from what I've been told. In the rest of the series, I've heard that there's queer rep. There's hints of it in the first book, and that was what had originally intrigued me so much with the world and the book itself, really. But the story is also very unique, in my opinion, because it has footnotes at the bottom of the pages where you're reading a whole other story. And I think that is really well done. It doesn't take away from anything at all. I think it adds to it, and I just found it very unique, and I loved it so much. I just need to continue on with the series, and this, I had actually gotten an arc of this back when I first started working as a bookseller at the current indie bookstore that I work for, and that was 5 years ago. So it's been a long time coming for this book, and hopefully 2025 is the year that I read it and continue on with the series. I'm only putting this one as a priority for 2025, but hopefully I can get to at least another one or two of the books and maybe the whole thing. So this one. The Ending Fire by Sarah L. Arifi. This is the third and final book in the Ending Fire trilogy, which recently just came out a few months ago. Yes, I have an arc of this. I do need to get the finished copy, but I received this arc because I love the first two so much. I received this arc and then was scared to read it because that means the trilogy is over. The first and second book were amazing. They are both 5-star reads. The second book, in my opinion, is actually even better than the first one, which is saying a lot because usually middle books suffer from middle book syndrome. So this one did not. But I need to read the third and final book in this trilogy. This whole trilogy has a unique magic system in it in regards to blood magic, and it has a revolution involved. This is sapphic, which is also amazing and incredible, and the writing is just wonderful. I believe the first book was this author's debut novel, and that's awesome because I think it's really well done. I think this whole trilogy is really fleshed out. The character development is top tier. I cannot wait to see how it ends, but also I am very scared. I'm very scared to see what is going to happen, but it needs to happen. I need to read it. I do. So this one's on my list. The final fantasy book in my priority TBR is The Jasmine Throne by Tasha Suri. This is the first book in the Burning Kingdoms trilogy. The third and final book in that trilogy recently came out as well. So now the whole trilogy is complete. Orbit Books actually sent me the entire trilogy, which I'm so thankful for. This one is one that I bought myself, but they sent me the entire trilogy. You might even be able to see it behind me back there. So I do have an additional copy that I will eventually give away or, sell to somebody or something like that. But I need to read this one because one, sapphic, two, awesome world building, so I've heard, three, magic, and four, revolution. So everything you could want in a fantasy series. I've seen people's reactions to the third and final book in the trilogy, and based off of that, I know one, it's probably gonna hurt. Yeah, it might get a little intense, but I'm here for it. Like, I'm here for all of these. I realized just now that a lot of these have queer rep in it, and I'm so excited about that. But this one is on my list and has been for a while. I'm just now really glad that I have the entire trilogy to continue to read if I really do love this one. So this one's on my list, and let me know your thoughts on it. So there you have it, everyone. Those are my priority fantasy reads for 2025. Let me know in the comments below what fantasy books you're going to prioritize in 2025. If it's not fantasy, let me know your priority romance reads, your priority horror reads, mystery, anything you like. Again, if you've stuck around through the past couple of years of me going off YouTube and back on YouTube, thank you so much for staying. I really appreciate it, especially with the upcoming TikTok ban that is probably going to happen. I need this online book community now more than ever. I need an outlet to talk about my favorite reads. I need to be in this community, and so I'm coming back to YouTube, hopefully to stay and grow further. So again, thank you so much. If you're new, please like, comment, subscribe, do all that fun YouTube stuff, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.